Bomb Weep Grind on Weep Nitty Bomb. We are back with a brand new video, and you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into today's video. You know, so many of the tremendous independent content creators have talked about at length the myriad of issues that are belaboring, plaguing, if you will. Excuse me. There we go. We'll just go with that. Plaguing the NBA. We've talked about it. I'm gonna add my 2 cents, but that's another video for another time. But some of these players they're living embodiment of so many of the complaints of the NBA, and a couple examples that really come out to mind are, and one of them is playing themselves out right before our very eyes, and that is Jimmy Butler. And I got to call it like I see it. I've been a Jimmy Butler guy since he was in Chicago, and I think a lot of us, and I believe it was Uncut Hoops talked about, like his approach to the game, it kind of had an old school vibe about it, and it kind of reminded us of so many of those guys that we grew up watching that we felt approached the game in the right way in terms of hard work, things of that nature. And there was a guy that brought it every night that was to be respected. But honestly, over couldn't get it up. These past several weeks, this situation with the Heat, man, it has really turned a lot of us, myself included, against him. And really, whether it be him, he's a prime example. He's just the most recent example. Be it Jimmy Butler, which I'm going to come back to, Zion Williamson, Ben Simmons. The issue is that these dudes are so entitled. You know, they feel like that they're just owed whatever they want, and that these teams need to capitulate to any whim that they have. You know, and as it relates to Jimmy Butler, if every team that you go to when it comes time to part the breakup, for lack of a better term, is acrimonious, it's not the team, dude. It's you. You had the issue in Chicago. And those of us who are Bulls fans knows about that 3 alpha junk that blew up, and how, you know, D-Wade was basically alienating himself from the young players, and how that was influencing Jimmy Butler, and he was doing the same thing. And the ones that they actually rode with, and I'm speaking of the young players, was Rondo. But that whole situation flamed out. Then, you know, you leave there, you go to Minnesota. We know about the situation with you and Cat and Andrew Wiggins, and you coming into practice and acting a fool. You know, Jeff Teague told us about it too. So you leave there. Then you go to Philly, and they won't pay you, so you get your way down to Miami. And Miami seemed to be a good fit for you. The Heat culture seemed to really line up with your approach to the game. But now, you know, you are at that point where you're an aging superstar, and you probably look around, or star, excuse me, and you look around and you see what some of these guys are getting, and you feel like you should get that money too. But if we're honest, and the Heat probably were with you, you know that your level of play did not commiserate with the type of money that you wanted. And so instead of doing what a grown man should do and go out like you did in Chicago, when you went out there and bet on yourself and you played well and you got your first big contract. Now quickly we forget where we come from. And then you don't do that though. What you do is you basically throw a sports temper tantrum. And you get yourself suspended. So it's like you want to be traded, and if the team won't trade you, you can't get what you want. You're going to make the environment around the team so untenable that the team's going to look to get rid of you by any means necessary, even if it means engaging in a trade to their own detriment. And that's exactly what he's doing. We've seen it when James Harden went James Harden and quit his way out of Philadelphia, and then Houston, and then Brooklyn, and then Philadelphia. So It's really what we're seeing is with Jimmy Butler is a personification of the things that are wrong with the NBA. You know, nobody, and that's the issue that so many fans have with today's player. Nobody wants to work through a situation to make it better. They want to hit a couple buttons, or in some cases, just make one trade, or a couple trades to make the team better. Or, you know, if you can't get what you want, you're gonna pout and all this type of stuff. And it's really sad. I could make a joke that says Jordan needs to talk to his illegitimate son and get him right, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to go for that low-hanging fruit. But seriously, what we're seeing, this is what so many fans are sick and tired of about the NBA and its players, and it goes back to that player empowerment movement, which Dreamers Pro talked about it on one of his recent videos. This movement, if you will, has been so deleterious to the NBA and by extension its fans, because it boosts the player up at the disadvantage of everyone else, the franchises, coaches, and ultimately the fans. And they're the ones that lose out, unfortunately, the most. And these players of today, they've made it abundantly clear that they don't care and that it's all about them. So I'm gonna, you know what, I kind of like doing these. If you want to see me, or I tell you what, before I do that, I'm gonna wrap the video now. If you enjoyed this kind of grievance breakdown with players and you want to see me do others, because there are other guys, including the two I mentioned in this video, and you want to see me do more of these, let me know in the comments section, and I will definitely do that for you. But in the meanwhile, I really appreciate you spending a few moments with me. And as always, please make sure to tell the ones that you love them. And if you've got people in California and apparently even in still North Carolina, they're still recovering out there, check on your people. Make sure they're good. So with that being said, I'm out. Peace.